Thank you, Shannon, and welcome you guys all over the world. It's a pleasure to talk with you about our new disruptive approach, Lean-agile procurement, and I brought with me an application from the field, and it was funny to hear what Dean is predicting. We just did it. So, I will have two topics in my talk, in my 15 minutes. Once I will tell you about a real case in the energy sector where we are unsure, but we believe we hit a new world record in sourcing a complex project. And second, we will give you a very brief introduction in Lean-agile procurement that you just could connect the dots why we did it this way. So let's start how we do contracting today. And I reduce that to the RFP process. So the problem in software, but not only in software, in sourcing complex projects like professional services, software project, IT, all could be organizational complexity, is that it makes no sense to describe a complex problem. Furthermore, we have a lot of handovers in the current process. And in the end, we then, if we have the contract, and if we are lucky we have already an agile contract, we are allowed to start working as a team, buyer plus the vendor as an agile team. And this needs a lot of time, and we call it, it's a bit provocative, but this is cost of delay. It does work fine for simple and complicated problem, because there you can describe everything, but please do not use it in a complex sourcing project. So we believe we need a major upgrade, because this process is already 120 years old. And we thought about, what if we have just one day to decide? And in Agile, we work as a team, as a cross-functional team, and not just the cross-functional team that the buyers out there are used to. This is the cross-functional team that will do the job. So that will have end-to-end responsibility also for developing the product, the service, etc. Beside that, we are still facing the problem with uncertainty, and we've learned from business development that they are facing the same problem, and they've solved that. Or are you still writing 100 pages business cases? You most probably won't. So they have a tool, they have a business model canvas or lean canvas, and we thought it would be awesome to have something similar for procurement. So we developed that more than 2 years ago, and we do not have the time to go into details, but basically it consists of three areas. In the middle, the why we need this project, why we need this initiative, why we need this vendor. On the right-hand side, the buyer section, who are our customers, what are their needs, and on the left side, the supplier section, what are their capabilities, products, services to resolve the customer needs. Now, give me a short overview how the approach Lean-agile procurement works. So at the very beginning, we do have a business case that gives us a lot of information we just can overtake, and we have to work out some more parts of on the buyer side. We set up a cross-functional team, and this team basically goes similar what Dean said into a PI planning. Could be a sequenced series of workshops with the vendors, or it could be done in parallel, as you like, depends on the context, what is possible. And you basically just work out the whole canvas together. And then you decide, and you just start. And what we found out is the canvas is a beautiful summary just to continue working together and keep it up to date as you do for the business cases as a partner, beautiful partner management tool. You even can assess an existing partnership with the canvas within 1 hour, no problem. we started to use it also the other way around and send it offers towards buyers. So multiple possibilities to use it. So this is very lean as we do not lose so much time. And let me show you how we applied that in a real case. So this was an energy company here in Switzerland. They have around 2,000 employees, and they were looking for a new internet solution provider, but also the product was not set yet. And I mean, sounds trivial, but they had 2,000 stakeholders. So there was an organizational complexity. And they were used to agile development already, but they thought it would be time now to also give a try on the procurement side. So how we started, the Lean Procurement Canvas was a beautiful instrument to guide us through. We started with the why. What is the vision of this? Why we need this intranet solution? What are the strategic goals we want to achieve? Who can support us? Who will be part of this cross-functional team? And what are the customers, the personas, the customer segments and their needs, etc. What we also did, what was very important, with the very first workshop, we empowered them so that they were able to decide. So it was important that, hey, stop. Now we can't invite the suppliers because these are all assumptions. So we need to validate that. On our timeline, we just invested 1 week because the team was not working 100% on that topic. They had something like 2 days a week. And we decided to invite representatives from each persona and make a preparation workshop to find out what are their real customer needs and their priority, etc. So we didn't create any shiny slides. We just brought our canvas. We brought everything else we worked out. And with approximately 50 people, we got within 4 hours a very clear picture what is really important to them and what are maybe just nice to haves. Yeah, then we just concluded all the results and we said, now, okay, now it's time to create the short list and then later on to invite three possible partners. But the invitation, we didn't provide them any details. We just gave them as less information as needed and as much information so that they knew what will be the approach, who has to show up, and what is the goal of this initiative. So during this, we've organized this 2 days workshop, and this 2 days workshop had 2 goals. One goal was to complete the Lean Procurement Canvas, which basically was just a summary of their offer. And that was mentioned as we need a formal offer. So as part of that, we also reviewed and updated a draft of the Agile contract. Second goal was, as the developer were there as well, we asked them to show up with all the people so that they can decide. So similar to the PI planning. So there were salespeople there, there were legal people there, there were developers were there, decision takers were there, just everybody. And as the developers were there as well, and not just the most senior ones, but the ones that will do the job. And as they were there, the second goal was also to create some proof of concept. What we see here, this was the CFO. He was telling about the vision of the company and why they need this project, etc. So they got everything from first hands. We let them work out all the details we needed to create a formal offer. So they did the estimation in front of us. They could ask at any time any details. We worked together the timing. We didn't agreed to, in the end, we didn't agree to the user stories because we said this will anyway change, but we agreed to some co-created goals and key results. And we even created together some metrics and KPIs, how we will measure if you're on track. After every bigger block, we did some presentation, and this was interesting because all the other vendors, there were 3 vendors in one room, got this information as well. The only thing we keep intransparent were the economics and the agile contract. But beside that, we got a lot of feedback, and this was also interesting to see how they reacted, because we fostered kind of competition within these 2 days as well. Beside that, we also gave a lot of feedback. What is the current gut feeling? So, for example, we had a breakout session regarding the cooperation model, how we will work together, and then we gave feedback. Okay, you're great, so this is a 5, or well, we have to improve. We need to have another session or so. As I said, the second goal was to create a proof of concept. So at every day we had in the morning a short planning where they just pulled what they thought was possible to achieve till the evening. And in the evening we had on each day a public review with the real users, which was very interesting. They saw exactly what they will get, what the application looks like. They could ask some questions, and the suppliers got direct feedback. So basically, with the help of the Lean Procurement Canvas, we just went through everything and got a nice summary for the Agile contract. And yes, what we found out, we are working together with lawyers as well, is the Lean Procurement Canvas is the most lean Agile contract beside a verbal contract. However, the corporates won't accept that. We had an attachment with a written Agile contract as well, but this was updated and discussed with both legals, the business guys, decision takers within 45 minutes, and they found an agreement. So let's come to the results. So the timing, we had very intensive 2 days, but in the whole lead time was about 5 weeks. The investment at the buyer side was around 2 FTEs, while on the supplier side it was much less. The outcome was we had some fantastic results. So for time to market was comparing to a classic approach, similar complex project in the same company was 4 times faster. The customer involvement was much less than usual, but with a much higher quality of information. And also important for the suppliers, we got a decision on the second day. We got a sign-off of the contract on the same day, and we just started or continued working on the 3rd day. So no delays on that. What are some conclusions? So in procurement, it's often a lot about savings. So because we had, we gave a lot of focus to what is really needed, we just had savings through not doing things. So we focused just to the very important things only. The collaboration, asking questions at any time, created a high alignment, but also commitment. We got in touch, personally in touch, and there was already a start of a social integration. Regarding the contracting, there was really a discussion how we deal with warranty, how we deal with risk, what happens if we are too late, how we deal with that. That was a very good discussions on a same eye level. And understanding the customer, so focusing to the customer needs leads to innovation. So we ask also the suppliers, what are your ideas, what other customers did, etc. Obviously, we also had some challenges. Uncertainty feels wrong. These procurement guys were not used to Agile, so we had to introduce them. The capacity of the people is always a challenge, but we're questioning the priority. Handling 3 vendors in one room in parallel is not that easy. I have to speed up, I just got the sign. The legal, please work with the legal, they have to become part of the story as well. Some good practices, just a summary, start with why, invest in Agile knowledge, insist in the management buy-in. This is all not new. Important is invest in a good supplier briefing and incorporate with the legal very early. My philosophy is let the team find their way. There is not just the way or the approach. So every implementation we've done so far was very different. So thank you very much. There is a community website where we share all the informations. The Lean Procurement Canvas is open source, and I'm keen on your questions. Thank you very much.